welcome back to my channel. It has been quite some time since I last posted a video. Sorry that it's been so long. I've just not really felt very motivated to film for some reason. I really enjoy doing it, but it does take a lot of time to sit down and film, and then obviously the editing as well. And I've just not really found the time or the motivation. And to be quite honest, I have run out of video ideas. I just don't really know what to film, so it would be a great help if you guys could let me know down in the comments what you'd like to see from me, whether you want to see more fashion bits, which I feel like I've filmed more of recently, or if you want to be seeing a bit more lifestyle videos, kind of vlogs, that sort of thing. Just let me know what you're going to want to see and I will film it for you basically. If you haven't already guessed by the title, today's video is going to be a little reading vlog. I've wanted to do one of these sorts of videos for ages, but I've just not really been in the swing of reading lots. But recently I've really been getting through books like crazy, so I thought this would be a great opportunity to start this little vlog. I'm just going to pick up the camera as and when I'm reading, when I pick up a new book, over the next few weeks really. So please don't take this vlog as if I'm reading all of these books in one day. I'm the kind of girl who reads one book at a time. I don't think I could handle reading multiple storylines at the same time. I know a lot of people do that, but I'm just not that kind of girl. Today is a Friday. I finished work early, which I do most Fridays, which is nice. I would love to be sat outside reading, but it's rather cloudy and windy, so it's a bit too chilly to be sat outside today. So instead I'm just in my little dressing room, sat in my reading corner. I have just made myself a cup of tea, which I love to have whenever I do sit down to read. And I'm just going to spend the next sort of hour or so just reading. I'm quite close to finishing the book that I am currently reading, which is this one. It's A Vintage Affair by Isabel Wolfe. This was just a charity shop find and I loved the cover, and the blurb is right up my street. It's basically about this woman who builds her own like vintage dress shop from the ground up, and so far, well, I'm nearly finished with it. It's been such a good read. A real surprise as well, because most of the time when I pick up a little charity shop book, it's nothing special, it's just a nice little read, but I've been really enjoying this. I think because it is so up my street with the vintage dresses, and they really go into a lot of detail with the dresses as well. There is also a little bit of a romance going on, but it doesn't focus on that, which I really like. It does focus more on the shop and the fashion, and there's this woman that she actually meets who is basically selling a load of her old clothes. So it's an old lady that she meets and she's selling loads of her old clothes from like the 40s and 50s. So of course she goes through all of those pieces, and there's a lot of descriptive writing in here, just going through all the pieces that she buys, and it's just so lovely, and you learn obviously about the old lady's past and things like that. So it's a real good read. The only thing I would say is the chapters are seriously long, and I hate a book with long chapters. Let me know down in the comments whether you prefer a book with short chapters or long chapters, because honestly, when a book has long chapters, I do normally really struggle. But I've gotten through this so quick, so that's even more unusual for me to be able to get through a book really quick with long chapters. I just prefer shorter ones because that's how I kind of mark my reading. I read most of the time before bed, especially during the week, that's when I'll read. So sometimes I just want to read a quick chapter, but a chapter in this takes me like half an hour, so it's not a quick read. But apart from that, I've been loving this book. So I might possibly be able to finish this today. If I don't finish it today, I will definitely be finishing it tomorrow. And then I'll be going on to the next book. So today is the next day, so it's now Saturday. I did actually get my nails done today, so it's quite a big difference from yesterday. I'm really pleased with them. I don't normally get acrylics anymore. I used to get them quite a few years ago, kind of for big occasions and things like that, but ever since I've been doing my gel nails at home, I literally haven't been to the salon for years. But I've got a few big events coming up, so I wanted to get something nice done. I just got a classic French tip and then had like a chrome sparkle layer put over the top as well. But yeah, I'm really pleased with them, and I'm pleased that they look so much better than they did yesterday. So I didn't end up finishing the book last night because I actually ended up sitting and watching Bridgerton after I read for a little bit. But I have literally got, I think, maybe 1 and a bit chapters left to go, so I'm hoping I will finish this today. I'm just going to sit and read for a little bit this afternoon, and then I probably will, to be fair, watch more of Bridgerton after I finish this book as well. But yeah, I'm still really enjoying this, so I will give you my full review, hopefully in a little bit. Okay, so I have finished this book and I absolutely loved it. I think I'm going to be giving this one 4 stars. I just really liked the storyline. So as I explained earlier in the video, it's about this lady who sets up a vintage dress shop. She buys a load of vintage pieces from this old lady. She basically tells a little story of her life. I don't want to go into too much depth, just in case any of you do want to read it, because I don't want to give anything away. It's very, very fascinating. It kind of touches on things from the war. So if you are a history lover, obviously if you love vintage clothing like I do and vintage fashion, that kind of thing, I would definitely recommend this book. I don't know where you'll find it. If you give it a search on Amazon, it might possibly be on there. If I can find it for you on Amazon, I will leave a link below. Like I said, I did just pick this up from a charity shop. It's quite an old book, but yeah, such a good read. Whilst we're doing a reading vlog, I do have the Goodreads app. If you've not heard of Goodreads before, it's basically this app where you can set yourself reading challenges and you can search up loads of different books to put them in different lists. So you've got like your want to read list, your read list, so you can keep track of what you're reading, when you're reading it. And then, like I say, you can set yourself reading challenges every year. So this is what the app looks like. So at the top, obviously, I've just got what I'm currently reading here, so I can update the progress and say that I've finished that now. And then just here, I've got the books that I want to read, which isn't even everything, but I've just put on a load of books that I do want to read soon, but I do need to add to this. And then the next one down, you've got the read list. So this is all of the books that I've read since having Goodreads, and you can see the rating that you've given it and stuff. And if you do leave any written reviews, you can obviously see all those. I don't tend to leave written reviews for the books because it's more for me to keep track of what I've read. It's really nice to be able to go back and see what kind of genres I liked, what I disliked, how my reading style has changed. The genre of books I go for now is so totally different to what I used to read when I first started out. So I've only been reading for like the past maybe 2 or 3 years again. I used to read when I was younger, and then I just kind of got out of it and didn't really enjoy it. And then yeah, got back into reading with like really easygoing romance fiction. But now, sometimes I pick up one of those books that I would definitely have read back then, and it's just cringy. It's like the cringy romance books that you get, and I just can't stand most of them. So it's really funny how your taste does change, obviously, as you read more and as you grow as well. But yeah, I really like being able to go back and see what I have actually read, what I liked, what I disliked, things like that. And then the final thing is the reading challenge. So yeah, I only had this app from 2023, so you can see my 2 reading challenges there. From 2023, I read 18 books that year, and then this year I've set myself the goal to read 24 books, so essentially 2 a month. I've read 12 so far, so I am 2 ahead of schedule. I can add another one to that list, but these are all the books that I have read so far this year. So I'm just going to quickly update the progress on that. Say that I've finished it. I'm going to go for 4 stars like I said, and then it just comes up like that once you've reviewed something. So I'm going to quickly now show you my next read, which I've had on my TBR list for so long. It's quite a short book. I've actually picked this up from my local library. I went in the other day and it's just so nice to go back to the library that I used to go to as a kid, and I renewed my library card and there was so many books in there. Honestly, I could have picked up so many, but you can only have them out for 4 weeks, so I thought I wouldn't go crazy because I'm not a quick reader. This I will probably be able to read in like a week, so I can go back and get some more hopefully soon. And I will take you with me when I next go back to the library, so you'll see that later in the vlog. But yes, this is my next read. It's called Days at the Morisaki Bookshop, and it's by, I'm not going to attempt to pronounce the author's name there because I know I will just get it wrong. But I just found this so intriguing. So I'll just read you the little blurb that's on the back. So it says, from the beginning of summer to early spring, I lived in the Morisaki bookshop. I spent that period of my life in the spare room on the 2nd floor of the store, trying to bury myself in books. The cramped room barely got any light and everything felt damp. It smelled constantly of musty old books. But I will always remember the days I spent there because that's where my real life began. And I know without a doubt that if not for those days, the rest of my life would have been bland, monotonous and lonely. Which I think sounds really interesting, and it's a nice short read, so I'm really intrigued to give this one a go. So yes, I'm going to be starting this probably tomorrow, so I will bring you along with the journey of reading this one as well. So a few days have passed, you can probably tell by how I'm looking and by the weather. The weather has made a drastic change within the last couple of days. But I have just got back from work and I went straight for a run. My first run since like last summer. I did really struggle, so sorry about the state of me at the moment. I just wanted to get back and sit in the sun to enjoy it before it goes down for the evening. So it's been a couple of days since I started this new book that I've been reading. I'm only a little way through, but it is still quite a small book, so quite a way through considering it's a small book. It's been good so far. I feel like I can't really comment too much on it at the moment because I'm not very far through, but I'm definitely intrigued by what's going to happen next. So before I jump in the shower and get on with the rest of my evening, making dinner and things like that, I'm just going to sit outside, enjoy the sunshine and do a little bit of reading. So it's been about a week since I first picked up the camera for this vlog. I've been really bad with reading this week. I guess it's just because I've not been too bothered about the book that I'm reading. Normally when I find a really good book I will read every single day without fail, but I don't know, this one's quite kind of slow pace and I don't really think much is happening, so I think that's probably why I'm not picking it up. But it is now Friday again, and I've just taken myself out for a walk. So I'm at St Catherine's Hill in Winchester, currently walking up the hill, and then I'm going to stop and read at the top. It's a lovely, lovely day, so perfect day for walking and reading in the sun. I'm already out of breath, there's so many steps. But yeah, I'm just going to enjoy a nice walk and then a read at the end as well, and I will show you the gorgeous views that you can see from the top of St Catherine's Hill. Oh my gosh, so out of breath. So I'll see you up there. So last time I spoke to you, I went on a walk up St Catherine's Hill and did some reading. It is now just a couple of days later and I've finished this book finally. Even though it was really small, it did take me about 10 days to finish. I really just didn't get on with this book that well. I found it was a bit kind of something of nothing, if you know what I mean, so it just felt like it was kind of written with no real purpose. It is translated, so it is a Japanese book by a Japanese author, of course, so maybe a little bit wasn't translated too well, but it didn't seem like it was just translated badly. It was more the storyline. I feel like the storyline was just a bit flat. I didn't really warm overly to the characters, and I think they could have done a lot more with it because it is such a short book. It kind of ended really abruptly and I was a bit like, oh, okay, that's that then, and nothing really happened too much. So I wouldn't necessarily recommend this read. I'm probably going to give it maybe 2 stars on my Goodreads. I didn't not enjoy it, but I didn't enjoy it at the same time. It's just one of those odd books. yeah, a bit disappointed with this one because I've wanted to read this for so long, and I'm really glad that I just got it from the library and didn't buy it in the end, because I would have been so much more disappointed if I'd bought this. Anyway, now I just wanted to quickly show you a few books that I've either bought recently or borrowed from friends. So a couple that I have borrowed from a colleague at work. This first one, I've been told I have got to read this. It is called The 5 People You Meet in Heaven by Mitch Albom. I've heard very, very good things about this. So many people have raved about this book, and loads of people have said I've got to read it and I'll really enjoy it. So I'm intrigued by this. Another one I've also borrowed from the same colleague at work is called The Help by Catherine Stockett. This was made into a film. I have seen the film and I've always wanted to read the book, so I'm so pleased that she's lent this to me. It will be interesting to see the differences between the book and the film. I did watch the film quite a few years ago, so I don't remember the whole thing too much, but I do remember certain parts. If you've seen the film, you will probably know the parts that are very memorable in there. But yeah, I'm really excited to give this a read. And then 2 books that I've bought recently. The first one is One of Us is Back by Catherine M. McManus. This is the final book to a whole series that this author has written. They're more targeted for like teen reading, but these books honestly got me into murder mysteries and that kind of genre. So if it weren't for these books, I definitely don't think I would be reading murders and thrillers and that kind of genre of book right now. I don't know, you probably can't see, but I do have them all stacked up on the shelf behind me. So there's 6 others, and then this is the final one. They don't all link. I think there's only 3 that actually link. So this is from the first book, One of Us is Lying, which has also been made into a Netflix series, which I really did enjoy. I think it was quite different to the book, but I actually quite like it when they do that because you're not comparing things too much. So I would definitely recommend the series on Netflix and also the book series. So I'm really excited to give this a read. And then the other book that I picked up was a bit of a probably cringy one for me, and I was definitely influenced by Bookstagram for this. I don't know if anyone else has seen this going all over Instagram, but this is Wild Love by Elsie Silver, and I'm hoping it will just be a nice, light, easy read. So I might actually go for this one to read next. If you want to see my reviews from those books, obviously they're the next books I'm going to be reading in the next few months. I do always post my book reviews over on my Instagram, so I'm at Katie Livy Rose over there. If you did want to give me a follow, and you can follow along with all my book reviews, and I can give you book recommendations and things like that over there on my stories. But for now, the final thing I'm going to do in this vlog is tomorrow I'm going to go to the library, return that book, and quite possibly get out another book. So I will chat to you all again tomorrow. I've just come back from the library. I didn't really get too many clips. I still feel so awkward filming in public, especially in my local area. It seems to be alright when I go out to like London or just to another city, but when I'm just filming in like my local town or village, it just feels so weird and I feel so self-conscious. So I didn't get too many clips, but obviously it's just a classic library. It's so peaceful and calming in there. I love going to visit, even if it's just to have a look around at the books, to see what's on offer, which is what I did this time. So I returned the other book and just had a quick look around, but decided not to get anything out this time just because I have got quite a lot on my pile upstairs already. So I think I'm going to leave it for a little bit until I actually get a new book out from the library. But there were a few titles that I would like to read. I showed you on the clips before. One that I didn't actually show but I've added to my Goodreads list is called Yellowface. It sounds so good. I've seen it in the bookstores before, and I saw they've also got it in the library, but they've only got it for a 2-week loan and it's not renewable. So when I get that out, I'm going to have to be super speedy at reading. Otherwise, I'm going to have to pay the fine. But yeah, it was just so nice to look around the library. I don't know if any of you guys feel the same way when you go to your local library. And if you've never been to a library, I would seriously recommend it. If you love books, if you love the smell of books, which I absolutely do, literally every time I open a new book, I have to smell it because I just love that new book smell, or just book smell in general. It's so nice. But yeah, I would definitely recommend going to a library just to look around. And then yeah, if you get a library card, it's literally free and you can rent out as many books as you like. And I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't have a library card if you are into reading. It is such a good way to read loads of books without having to buy them all. But yes, that is going to be the end of this little reading vlog, my lovelies. I really hope that you did enjoy this video. If you would like to see more videos like this from me in the future, definitely make sure you give this one a like and leave a comment down below letting me know if you want to see more like this. Also, be sure to subscribe to my channel and turn on the notification bell so that you're notified every single time I upload a new video. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!